Hi, I'm Duncan. I'm the founder, chief executive of Survivors Manchester. I'm following on from the Prime Minister's announcement earlier this week with regards to the ending of the government mandated COVID restrictions. I wanted to give you an understanding of what Survivors Manchester will be doing or what it means for Survivors Manchester to be working beyond the 19th of July. As the chief executive of this amazing organisation, I carry a really, really big responsibility, which is to deliver the meeting of the aims of our organisation, effectively why we exist. I was looking at the organisation's aims and objectives the other day, and the first aim that we wrote back in 2008, 2009, as we were beginning to open, was this: to promote and protect the good health of male survivors of sexual abuse, rape and sexual exploitation, alongside those affected by male sexual violation across Greater Manchester and throughout England and Wales. That aim was written nearly 12 years, well over 12 years ago now, and I take that responsibility for meeting and delivering on those aims really seriously, because as a survivor myself, I think we deserve to be protected. As a chief executive of an organisation, like any other leader, I've also got a responsibility to protect and look after our employees, members of my team, my colleagues. I need to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to protect everybody that comes under the umbrella of Survivors Manchester. More than ever, it feels important to remember, for me, what my responsibility is. And so, after some consideration and some discussions, particularly with my operations director, with Chris, I've decided that we're going to maintain some of the procedures that we have in place at the moment for the not too distant future, which means that at the moment, we as a team will continue to observe hand washing processes, surface cleaning processes. We will make sure that all surfaces that anyone comes into contact are regularly sanitized, just to ensure that we are removing any possible spread of infection when anyone comes into the building, and we'll continue to ask visitors to do the same. Equally, when people come into our premises, whether it's staff, volunteers, visitors, we'll ask people to continue to observe the 1 metre plus social distancing rule and the wearing of face masks when you're moving around the building. The building layout downstairs, for anybody that's been into the building recently, will stay as is for the time being. We'll continue to ensure that when the building is open and anyone's in the building, that there's good ventilation, that windows will be open to create an airflow, because as we know, air droplets of the way COVID is carried can then just exit the building through an open window. Anyone that has an appointment in person, you've been contacted before you come for an appointment, just to check that you've got no symptoms. We'll continue to do that for the time being. And we'll continue to ensure that anyone coming into the building is temperature checked at the door and asked a few questions before they come into the building. Again, just to make sure that we are being as safe as we possibly can. Anyone that has symptoms will be asked to not attend their appointment, and as we have been doing, we'll be directing them to the relevant websites or the relevant information, NHS and government information about testing, about test and trace, and also about making sure that they understand isolation rules. Working outside of the building in health walks or some of our groups, some of our social prescribing groups and activities, we will ask people to just follow whatever rules are in place for those particular areas. We will continue to follow the rules of the Greater Manchester Mayor's Office, the government and the NHS. But when I was listening to the Prime Minister's statement the other day, something really stuck with me. The Prime Minister said this pandemic is not over, and that's true, and we have to remember that. I'm hopeful in the next 2 weeks we'll have some really exciting news to deliver with regards to our groups and the reopening of our drop-in service and a few other tiny developments. And so as we go through our plans, myself and Chris will be reviewing local guidelines, and we'll be making sure that we set the right balance. I have to remember that we work with some people who have really compromised immune systems or have various health issues. We know that abuse and the impact of abuse can have some detrimental health impacts much later in life. We're beginning to understand that from a scientific point of view. And so I want us to protect the most vulnerable. If we carry on doing what we've been doing, we will carry on protecting the most vulnerable people that come to our service. One of our ISVAs, Daniel, was talking to me quite recently, and he said, Dunk, no survivors should be left behind. And that's going to be my new mantra. No survivor is going to be left behind. So we're going to do everything possible to ensure that no survivor is left behind. I want to thank you for all of your patience, for your understanding as we've gone through this strange time. I want to thank you for putting up with some of the mistakes that we've made when we haven't been as quick to respond as we would have liked to have been. I want to thank you for sticking with us, and I want to thank you for supporting us. I also want to thank my team publicly because they have been incredible. I'm so grateful and so honoured to be the guardian of this organisation, and I know that for so many people who use the organisation, it's their lifeline, and I want it to continue to be their lifeline. For some people, the wearing of face masks and some of the vulnerabilities health-wise that they carry mean that they won't be able to attend, and there's difficulties. So please do get in contact and speak to a member of the team or your therapist or your ISVA. Thank you. We will continue to review how we are functioning, and any updates I will make sure that will be delivered by me directly to you. So thank you. Be safe. Remember that we are still in a pandemic, and we still need to make sure that we are looking after our health and the health of other people. Thank you.